I get the pleasure of walking you through a live demo of what we've actually built today. Live demos are a little risky, so if there are any hiccups, I'd appreciate you guys being patient. I'd like to start with cover feed and what really is my favorite part of the product, which is the moment you turn on your phone. As Mark mentioned earlier, you turn on your phone roughly 100 times a day or more. You do so while you're waiting in line to buy something for lunch, or maybe you're on an airplane waiting for it to take off, or you might be checking your phone right now. I can see someone checking their phone. Typically, all you see is the clock, and if you're lucky, maybe a snippet of an email or a calendar invite, but not much more. And what we aspire to do with Home is provide a lot more value in that moment. And so, as soon as you turn on your phone, this is what you see. Actually, that's you guys right now. This is cover feed. You see the clock briefly, your profile picture, so you know that it's your phone, and this visually rich news feed we call cover feed. It'll automatically slide from story to story to story if you like, and you want to sit back and watch. And so let's go through this. Elizabeth, she's a content strategist on the team. Looks like she checked in somewhere. Here's a story on Instagram. It's a photo story. Open Graph stories with large images show up on cover feed, and we're really excited to see that. You'll see link shares, status updates. This is Julie Zhu. She's a designer here. That's a pretty sweet photo. Here's a status update, also from Julie. So for status updates, what we did is we wanted it to feel consistent with the photo stories. So we used the cover photo as the background, but then we put your text in the front so you could know, or so there was a clear distinction of what you were seeing. Let's go through some more stuff. That's me. That's a little embarrassing. And so if you see a photo you like, you can long press it to have it zoom out like I did before. Or you can double tap it to like, and it'll just show you a big little like icon right underneath your finger. That's Justin. He worked really hard on this presentation, so I'm going to like that too. And you can swipe through. If you see something you want to comment on, well, let's find something that already has comments. No comments, no comments, no comments. Oh, we'll just make a new comment. You just tap the comment icon on the bottom right. Oop, I missed it. And it'll open up the comments in line. Oh, someone did comment. So I can say hi, because that's short, and I'm doing a demo. And when I'm done, I can just swipe it away. And so what we've tried to do is really design a delightful, simple experience, and we've relied pretty heavily on very basic gestures, swiping, tapping, pressing, to make it so that there's nothing between you and your content. You can directly just reach out and touch it. You realize there's no Chrome here, there's no logo, there's no nav. It's the content first. So that's cover feed, and that's really the foundation of what we've built. But as Mark talked about briefly, we also have notifications. So if I tap once to get back, you can see I've got a bunch of notifications. So cover feed aims to always show you the most important thing. Notifications aim to make sure you don't miss the critical things. So messages, SMSs, and a subset of Facebook messages, only the most important ones. And they just appear on top. And so here I have a bunch. So Lindsey Graham commented on a photo. If I want to check that out, I can just tap on it. That'll take me to the Facebook app and show me that photo. If I press home, I go back, and that notification is now gone. Let's say Francis and a couple of people posted in my timeline, and I'm not really willing to risk seeing what they said. I can just swipe it away. If I have a bunch, and I want to get rid of them all at once, I can press and hold, and they'll just collect underneath my finger, and I can dismiss them all at once really easily. And so that's cover feed and notifications, which are the content part of the experience. And what we're trying to do is shift people's focus on their phones away from tasks and apps and to people and content, or more specifically friends, or your friends and what they're saying and what they're doing. But we recognize that apps are still important. And so we built an app launcher. So if I press and hold my profile pic on the bottom, you'll see I get 3 options: Messenger, apps, and then my most recently used app. This is actually kind of fun to play with. People do this a lot. We have your most recently used app there in the event that you need to quickly get back to where you were. So imagine you were listening to the new JT album on audio or Spotify, and then like someone walked in the room and you're embarrassed. You can just open your phone, swipe once, and get back and pause that or go to the next track. That's happened to me. If you press and hold, you'll see apps is the top option. So you just need to swipe up, and what you get is a really clean, simple app launcher. This has pages of bookmarks that you can control. You manage this entirely yourself. You can remove an app. Let's remove someone who's not going to get offended. Boop. If you want to bookmark a new app, one swipe to the left, you'll see a comprehensive list of all of your apps alphabetically organized. That's called the app drawer. So if I want to bookmark something new, let's find something. What do I want? Dropbox. I'm a big Dropbox user. I can just place that where I like. You also notice that there's a really thin, light, inline composer at the top. That's so that if you want to post a status or a photo or a check-in, it's just one quick tap away. And so when you're done, all you have to do is, again, swipe it down. And so that's cover feed notifications in the app launcher. What I didn't talk about is chat heads or some of the cool things we're doing around messaging.
Called chat heads. But first, I want to talk a little bit about the state of messaging on your phones today. And we've all had this experience where you'll be watching a video or playing a game or maybe even in the middle of writing something, and someone sends you a message, and then you have to make this decision. Do I completely stop what I'm doing and switch to a different app just to even read this message, even if you're not going to respond? Or do I just ignore my friend, continue what I'm doing, and then have to make a mental note to go back and get to this message later? And both of those are just bad experiences. You should really be able to talk to your friends no matter where you're at in your phone, and no matter what in certain places on your phone. And this is exactly what we wanted to fix with chat heads. And so with chat heads, you can talk, and your friends shouldn't just be siloed off into these apps. And your messaging and communication shouldn't only happen in certain places on your phone. And this is exactly what we wanted to fix with chat heads. And so with chat heads, you can talk to whoever, wherever you're at in your phone. And let me show you how this works. All right. So if you saw, I just got a message, actually. And if I open an app, that message just follows me. And if I was about to read this article, and that's what I wanted to do, I could just start in, and the message would persist. And this message is a chat head. And it's actually from my friend Mac. And you can see the chat head shows his profile picture. And right when it came in, it showed a preview of his message. So I understand the context. And there's also an unread count, so I know how many messages he sent that I haven't read yet. And so just by tapping on this chat head, it pops me into the conversation. And the thing that's so cool and so special about this is that this is all happening right over the article I'm about to read, and right over the app I'm using. So no matter what you're doing, you can just quickly pop into these conversations. It's very, very lightweight. And it looks like Mac wants to go check out a G.I. Joe movie tonight, so say, yeah, not busy, not giving a demo or anything. Check the times. So when I'm done responding to Mac, if I wanted to go back and just continue reading the article, again, I could either tap Mac's chat head, and it would take me back, or with a simple gesture, I could just swipe the conversation up, and it would also collapse it. And it's gestures like this that make chat heads so fun and so lightweight. But I need to figure out the times with Mac, so I'm going to hop into Fandango really quickly and see. And if you notice here again, too, when I was switching these apps, Mac's chat head just stayed there with me. So it really feels like your friends are always there. It's always accessible. And it's really cool. And so I'm going to go find G.I. Joe. Looks like it's at 7:05 or 9:50. So I'm going to say this back to Mac. And if you saw, as I was doing that, I just got another message. And this is a message from my friend Drew. So if I want to switch to this message now, it just butts the chat head over. And I can tap on it. And it takes me to this message. So seamlessly, you can carry on multiple conversations with the people you care about. And it's really, really easy to do. And again, I can tap back to switch and tap back. And the one thing you'll notice about this message is it's very subtle, but this is actually a text message. And you can tell because there's a green button and the green bubbles, but not much more than that. And that's because we wanted to focus on an experience that it didn't matter what app you use or what technology you use to send the message, but just that you have your friends there and you're all talking to them. So text messages and SMSs, or text messages and Facebook messages both share the chat head design. And if you see, I actually just got another one, which is a message from a group. I think it's my roommates, actually. But it showed up as a group chat. And you can tell because the chat head is divided, showing all of the people who are in the thread. And again, just tapping, I can manage these 3 conversations really easily. And it looks like this is about rent. So with a conversation like this, you can just pick up the chat head and flick it off the bottom, and it's gone. And so that's how you close an individual chat. And if you wanted to close all of your messages at once, again, just swipe up to collapse them. And you can always drag these things around and position them wherever you want, wherever they comfortably fit. And then you can pick the pile up. It's pretty fun to spring these around. and again, chuck them off the bottom. And so that's chat heads, and they're a way you can talk to your friends no matter what you're doing on your phone, no matter what app you're in. They're really the first experience where you can manage multiple conversations with just a single tap. And I've been playing with them for a while, and I can honestly say they're the most fun and delightful messaging experience yet. So thank you.